I thought long and hard. When I say long and hard, I mean years. As I was planning this, because I knew I wanted to do another record in 2010 after my previous project when I felt it had run its course. And the process I felt that was going to distinguish Shades of Blue from the previous project was that Shades of Blue was going to be performed live. It was going to focus on live musicians and the interaction with the musicians. So the music was all recorded live. And as far as I did a lot of re-engineering of the music, meaning I tried to reimagine, specific songs. And when the project first went underway, it was just going to be an EP of maybe 3 or 4 songs. And the recording process was coming out so well, it was like, well, you need to take advantage of this. This is like this great window of creativity taking place. Let's not, cut it short. So I began to add more songs, and then as you add more songs, you look for diversity. So I felt that, I need to have a song where it's a little bit more in this direction, and you add another song. Now, I had a nice arrangement on this song, so there's no reason not to record that, because you can't call a recording session and just record one song. You have all these musicians, so take advantage of them. So we ended up recording maybe 2 and 3 songs, and that's how the project kind of spiraled. I won't say it spiraled out of control, but it became much bigger than I had originally planned. And so, but the process was, if I were to get into the actual mechanics of the process, I first, I went and got my old MPC-60 out of storage, which had been in storage for like 15 years, and I started programming all the music that I wanted, because I had specific criteria that I needed to have in the project. I needed to make sure that all the songs were, in the recording process, there are certain things that I think are very important. One, everything is in tune, and one thing I didn't want tempo fluctuating, because live musicians can have the tendency to move the tempo around. So I used the MPC-60 as almost like a metronome. So I did all the programming for all the music on that, laid those tracks down, and then had the musicians come in and use the MPC-60 essentially as a click track. And that was that process. We started off with the core rhythm section, which was Ronnie Kaufman on drums, Keith Roustra on bass, and Herman Jackson keyboards. Laid a lot of the stuff with them, mostly the whole project. And then I started adding guitar, and then we filled in gaps where I brought in Harvey Estrada to do some things with acoustic bass. Then we brought Cal Bennett to do saxophone things. All the process. And what happens is that as we were working our way through this, you begin to hear, well, this song needs this. The songs are almost like children, where you have to give them the education, the development that they need. So we began adding things, and then later on, late in the project, everything was coming out so well. I said, then what would really take this over the hump if we brought in, real live percussionists? So I had, been using the MPC-60 percussion because of the 808. I really liked the 808, and I made a decision to bring in Eric McCain. And that was just one of the great decisions. One of the great decisions that I made on the project. He brings a great energy to the recording process. We had fun working with him, and what he did to the music, and that had its own impact on directing the process into a different direction. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had Tribal Dance. If it wasn't for Harvey Estrada doing his thing with acoustic bass, we wouldn't have had the Sound and Rhythm, or the Shades of Blue Aftermath, the dark and sexy version. That all came about by accident, and that was based upon Harvey just coming in, just like the tape was running, or the machine was recording, and he just started playing, and we captured it. And we just happened to, it was just one of those nights where we captured magic, and that was one of the tunes that just like, it was more music than we needed, but we had to include it because it made such a profound statement. But I don't want to sound like I'm rambling, but that was the process. It grew from the original core idea. It became more complex, but we always addressed it. We brought in the musicians that we needed to make certain things happen, and we made decisions about, okay, this song is going down this path. As an example, I know we became very much, or I became very much a fan of doing the harmonies with Carrie Taylor. We brought her in to do the vocals, really intricate harmonies on Sound and Rhythm, And we began putting her in places that we didn't originally plan, but it just worked out so well that it became a thing of, well, you can't say no. If the song needs this, then you give it what it needs. It's almost like a parent having a child with a medical problem, and you can't say, well, I'll just take her to I'll take my child to to the corner doctor. No, you bring in the best specialist to give that patient what it needs. So we took that approach to the music, where if a song needed X, A, B, and C, we gave it A, B, and C. And many things, we had McCain here doing like 1 or 2 songs. I said, man, have you heard this? We should put him on, this. So you end up, hey, McCain, we had, hey, McCain, Call of Duty, you got to come back and, and put percussion on this. So we ended up, putting him on a lot more than we originally planned, but it was because the song requested it and we acquiesced to what the song needed.